right? So, how's the energy? How are we doing? You feeling good? Still feeling good? Is everyone ready for the first panel? We have the first panel coming up. It is about spaces, community, and hospitality. I am very curious to know what makes a good, sustainable hangout space. And it's so important for purposes of community gathering, right? Where should we gather this community? What should be involved? How do we make it sustainable? How do we connect it with nature? And we have Ben Barker, who is going to be moderating this talk. And you have 20 plus years experience in hospitality and sports, leisure, right? And you've been running extreme destinations, correct?
Correct.
Very excited to hear your talk. Please
Thank you.
take
Thank you.
over. Thank
And,
you. All right.
Thank you, everybody. And if everybody can stand up and make elephant noises. I'm just kidding.
No, this is wow. Wow.
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. And I'd just like to do another little special mention to the only animal in the house who can make a real noise. I think he's also our first dog in an extreme hangout as well. So, anyway, as Margot was saying, my name is Ben Barker. I'm the managing director for Extreme Destinations. We develop indoor and outdoor adventure parks and experiential accommodation. So very much around sustainability, the environment, the community, and providing authentic experiences. So today we are going to be discussing community spaces and hospitality. We have a distinguished panel of experts, each with their own unique perspective and expertise in the field of design, culinary arts, urban development, and more. What we will do is I'll do a very quick introduction to the three guys here, and then I'll allow you guys to introduce yourselves, what your environmental mission is in 50 years' time, and a little bit about what you're doing as well. And then I'll ask each a single question, and then I'll do one single question for all three of you, and then I'm going to open it up to the floor to have a bit of an interactive discussion. So first of all, we have Mariana Rosa, a designer focusing on social design and activism when it comes to sustainability and climate action. Then we have Nuno Mota, a plant-based chef who owns his own pastry business, Damn Donuts, in Portugal. And if anybody was at Vanessa's last night, the brownies were his concoction. I had to go for a run this morning. And then we have, you all know River, who's our MC, and he's also an entrepreneur, ready to take on the next generation of great entrepreneurs and investors to lead the world into a future we can all be proud of. So, Mariana, do you want to just do a little bit about yourself and your vision in 2050?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here with you all to share a little bit more about me, what I do, and the project that I've been working recently on. So, as Ben said, I am a social designer, currently pursuing a master's in design for sustainability at the Faculty of Fine Arts in the University of Lisbon. My partner in my project is Nicolas Pineda, that he's a guerrilla architect, and who comes from the city of Bogota, Colombia. And without him, the project wouldn't be able to exist, really. So in 50 years, I would imagine, in terms of urban futures, that's where I am expert on, I would imagine a future where people are able to express freely what they want to see in the public spaces and to have their voices heard. And yeah, that's on the context of our project, that we strive to form a collaborative framework to strengthen and also build community ties by not reformulating but reactivating public spaces. And this with the community's help. So thank you all for now.
Thank you, Mariana. Nuno?
Hello, good morning. First, I have three notes to give you. I didn't prepare nothing, so I'm just going to follow. The second note, sorry, River, we don't know how to bark, because that guy didn't bark, didn't react. I was looking to him when we barked. So, Vanessa, maybe you need to hustle the dog after he's tired. And the third, I need an exercise. River did this exercise. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna do a video, and you guys gonna pretend that I have something good to say. So, my name is Alio Frances in English. So when I make the video, you just raise your hand and say Alio Frances to pretend that I'm a very important guy. So is that okay? Yes. Let's go. Let me put the video. And then you're gonna follow me on social media. Yeah. This is how I get my life. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Scream. Yes. Yes. No. Now being honest. My goal in life. I was talking with Ben Barker. His name is very Ben Barker. Very means harsh. Looks like, oh, this guy is bold. He's mean. But his goal, his policy, and my policy is like I like to do my work in a very not serious way. I respect, of course, people who do that in a more serious way, in a more theory way. But I like to do my work, and I believe that everybody has a plan, everybody has a part of what we do. And sorry, this is my first time speaking in English, so sorry for something. But I like to do my work in a very relaxed way. And my job is, I'm a little bit of an influencer, like she was saying. And I do all my effort in the flavor. So I share recipes. Most of my job is to share recipes. I sell recipes to restaurants. I'm a consultant. I evaluate restaurants. So if I say it's good, people will go because I have a good impact. But mostly my business core is to share recipes and make you guys believe that we don't need nothing if it's a good product. So good products make good recipes. And talking about my brand, it's called M Donuts. Like I said, you should follow too also. Um, it's like you taste it and you don't feel that it's missing something. So this is my part of in this modern era. Animals should live like this guy. Don't feel worried about nothing. Just relax and be happy and make your own choices. And this is my part in my life. So this is what I have to say. Mostly is that.
Cool.
This question about 50 years. I live day by day. Sorry, I don't have. Tomorrow I will see. This is my way of life. Sorry.
Awesome. Thanks, Nuno. And River?
Ben Barker. Barker. Yeah, Barker.
I goes Baker, I goes Dan
Ben,
Baker.
I just wanted to make sure, yeah.
Whatever goes.
Hi, guys. I am very happy to be here, and it's nice to be sitting down as well. Thanks for persevering with the animal noises. I think it'll be an ongoing theme throughout the week, throughout the day, rather. My background, like, you know what really inspires me is, like, what is possible when you actually open up your creativity and imagination, particularly in built spaces. My background, I don't know why, but I've always kind of focused on the edges of what's possible. So I've built rooftop cinemas in Hong Kong. I built farms in New York City. I'm working on building libraries deep in forests these days. And I'm just really inspired by like what we can do if we reimagine space, if we reimagine our relationship with real estate. If instead of just like, I can buy a property and then make money off it or have another hotel, like there's so many other things that are possible. So my focus is very much on the investor level, and then supporting people that are bringing new types of real estate into being. So that's what I'm excited by. If there's an element of that you're working on, come talk to me. And by 2050, yeah, like I just have this vision of getting on a plane and flying into a city or over a country and having a very different look at the landscape. It's not divided in blocks of farms and just grass and burnt, scorched land. Like I'm from Australia, it's very dry. Portugal, maybe second only to Portugal. But imagine flying into a country that was actually like vibrant, that was alive, that kind of glowed at night. Not because of the lights that were there, but because of the bioluminescence that was there in the forest. Like 1,000 years ago, I'd imagine forests were alive with fireflies and glowworms, and these things used to glow. So that's kind of what excites me. I'm not sure we'll get there by 2050, but that's
I
what I
think
invest
you're
my
picturing
energy in.
Avatar, aren't you? Surely.
Something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, thank you. So let's just jump into some questions first of all. So Mariana, you're up first. So you've received recognition for the best co-creation and sustainable urban design. Can you share an example of a project where co-creation played a significant role in creating a sustainable community space?
Yes, I can. Um, it's hard because in Portugal, or more simply put, in Lisbon, there are few of them. There's actually one that is currently taking place now. That is in I don't know if you know the Martim Muniz Plaza. So it should have been a garden, but it's a simple square. So now people are reivindicating the right for them to have a green space in that local area, because in the downtown area of Lisbon there's a severe lack of green spaces. And also our project was near Martim Muniz Plaza, which is a little neighborhood called Moraria, and they also suffer from that. And they got to a point where people now are trying to participate and in these public debates about it, and now they are revising the plan. They already started to hire companies that will do another plan for that square to turn it to a green space. So it was really the public's voice, the people's voice, that enabled it to happen. So if they didn't said anything about it, the place would have stayed the same. So now they are going through the process. I don't know how it will end, but it's good that they are starting now to rearrange it. And I think it's a good sign of co-creation and listening to people's voice and what they really want to see on their neighbors and on their neighborhood. Yeah, so.
Amazing, and I think coming out of COVID as well, and everybody being locked up, and they're wanting to
Yeah.
get back out into those open spaces and having that access, I think is really important. So being able to make it almost on your doorstep is something really important.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, thank you, Nuno. As a plant-based chef, how can the concept of plant-based and vegan cuisine be integrated into the hospitality industry to create more sustainable and inclusive dining experiences for communities? And I just want to, we haven't prepped any of these questions,
Yes.
so I'm literally
No.
dropping them in the deep end here.
With me, no preparation needed. I think I'm gonna repeat myself. It's flavor. For example, my wife, we are together 17 years ago already, and our first experience was a seitan sandwich, and the seitan was not cooked. So she had bread, cold bread, rubber, because of this texture. So she hated. So she didn't like it, of course. So I think the key is flavor, texture, showing people that the vegetables are not the second option. It's not like we said before. We prepared something. Yeah? Like I said before, there's no reason to be grilled meat or grilled fish, and then just French fries or mixed salad or rice. Come on, we have vegetables, amazing vegetables. My goal is, for example, I love broccoli, and why serving broccoli as a mesh, almost mashed? Give them just a little bit saute. They're gonna get crunchy. Your brain is gonna get playful, like you said. We need to playful. We need to play with the food, play with the textures. Come on, texture is. It's why do we care about the meat point and not caring about the broccoli point? For example, I did a recipe for a menu a la carte for a restaurant, and the executive chef of the group, he was broccoli. He was, hey, you didn't blanch the broccoli. Blanching is do a small time cooking and then put it on the ice to stop the boiling. And I said to him, relax, I'm going to cook like I want to, and then you're going to taste it. He tasted and was like, man, this is blowing me away. And we were talking about a chef who had 40 years experience. And later at night, at the same day, he sent me a picture doing like that, like I show him to his wife. So you can change everything. You can do better, and for me, vegetables are like the key because we have so much the I forgot the name of this Cascais. She said that this grows empathy, community. So we're gonna have more vegetables. We can take from the earth these vegetables, and come on, it's flavorful. And my main goal is to teach people the seasonal, and this is very sustainable, of course. Don't eat tomatoes in the winter. Come on, catch them in the summer, freeze it all, do tomato sauce, and then try to use them because tomato feeling like water. This is not tomato. Tomato is like you eat them like an apple. You put some sea salt, and then you can eat it. This, to be honest, I'm like a tomato. Summer tomato. Summer tomato are ugly but more flavorful.
I
So
tell you,
I think,
I've never thought of tomatoes in any other time than summer. So
sorry.
other than in a ketchup bottle for my kids, but
Yes, but ketchup made with good tomatoes will make a difference. So respect the product, know how you get the product, know the time of the product, and congratulations about this Martin Muniz because I pass him a lot of times there. I would never imagine this as a green space. I go a lot of times to Martin Muniz to buy spices and Japanese and Chinese types of ingredients. So congratulations! I want to give you a very big round of applause for this because this is how you change, how you learn people. This is also what I do in a more relaxed way. You teach people different ways to get better results. So can we all close our eyes, like River said, and imagine Martin Muniz with a green, huge green area in the middle, and then we take the cars out. Yeah, congratulations.
absolutely. River. So you have a diverse background in real estate and entrepreneurship. How do you see the role of real estate and innovative spaces in building stronger communities? And what opportunities do you see for sustainable development?
Like I kind of am really inspired by ancient traditions and cultures and indigenous ways of being. And I just see that there's so much more real estate that could be publicly accessible, that could actually support the common good as well. After building farms in New York City, it became really clear that there was a real lack of space for people to come together, even just around a campfire. We had stand-up comedians that we used to host around a campfire in the middle of New York City, and there wasn't anywhere else in the city you could go and do that because everything else is commercial. Like you got to go to a Starbucks and order a coffee, and you're very much within the realm of that. Libraries are beautiful, but also you got to be very quiet the whole time. So and then you've got bars which are very loud and dancing the whole time, and you're just buying drinks. So I think that the new edge is going to be like, what are some of these other big public spaces where the public can interact across cultures, across generations, in unique ways. Yeah.
Cool. No, and just from our side, what we're developing out in Extreme and the destinations we're developing, it's really, and the hospitality offer is very much around those community spaces, the social gathering. And if you look at a lot of the hotels around the world today, they're very traditional. Exactly as you say, you've got the reception, you've got the restaurants, you've got the libraries, you've got the executive offices, and there's nowhere for people to actually come together and share their experiences of the day. And what we're trying to do as a brand, as a destination, is people will go out, do those amazing experiences, come back, and actually have a space where you can share in those experiences as well, and making it very forthcoming. So that, for us, it's a really important thing to look at. And I think as the world is changing and our buying patterns and our own experiences and desires and wants are changing as well, as we're designing and developing out, the F&B spaces, the common spaces, or even the maybe the hard to use spaces, it's really, really important to see how can we integrate that into our daily lives as well. And again, we're, as you said, spaces are very much in demand. And you're looking at some of these older buildings which are no longer in use, whether they're old factories or warehouses, and it's how do you regenerate and redevelop those spaces as well, and make them more, modernize them, but keep the old authenticity of the space itself as well. So that's really important for us. Cool. So I'm gonna open it up to the audience very quickly, but I'm gonna have one question for each of you to answer in your own style or your own way. If you want to make animal noises, that's very cool. So how can the concept of hospitality go beyond traditional hotel and restaurant settings to create welcoming and inclusive community spaces? I've already given my answer. Do you want Mariana to go first?
Coming up for you guys immediately. Yeah, look, I mean, so I've spent a lot of time thinking about just welcoming, just the idea of a welcoming space. And actually what comes to mind is an allotment garden in Copenhagen. And so in Copenhagen, they have these little farms and people get their plots. But what they've done is they've organized the plots so that the new immigrants or the new migrants or the new refugees or the new expats have a plot next to someone local. So they weave this kind of patchwork of these different green spaces for different communities to actively cultivate that diversity and interaction between cultures that otherwise wouldn't. And when you grow together, you learn so much together. You learn to grow tomatoes together, but then you swap recipes. And like the broccoli point, how incredible is that? Like, how do you like your broccoli? Medium rare? Or would you rather medium or like super crunchy? Like, yeah, and then just seeing how different cultures use broccoli or tomatoes, it's like there's just so much in that. So, so I think also just invitations, just these invitations, like this morning, the invitations to do something a little bit different. That I find creates very welcoming spaces. Yeah,
I think it's breaking down those barriers, and you did it perfectly. With all the animal noises, just making people feel at ease. Just breaking down any inhibitions which you may have, and if you can do that in a very subtle way without making it very obvious and forcing it in people's faces, I think that's really, really important.
Okay, I think so. When it comes to, I will talk about two different things. So first of all, I think the public space has a lot to play in it, in the sense that most of the public space that you have is normally, they have some elements that are not really hospitable for people to walk in. Maybe people who don't have much not that they cannot move very easily. I think hospitality also should take into account the accessibleness to the space. So not only for you to have different cultures on sharing the same space, but also people who have different disabilities can share the same space and feel that they belong there. In Moraria, we have that problem because the neighborhood is on a hill, a very steep hill. And the only way for you to access the neighborhood is through a staircase, a huge staircase. You only have one elevator, public elevator there. And so when you talk about hospitality, you also have to think about these people who have difficulty in accessing to spaces. And public space should belong to everyone. Everyone should have access to it, not only people who are living on the streets, because we also try to apply some measures to scare them off sometimes instead of really tackling the problem. And also, I would like to speak about events on the public space and events like this, of course. I think it's a great place to gather people. And in our project, actually, we're going to have one event in Centro de Inovação da Moraria, in which we are going to do co-creation workshops with the population to understand what they want to see in the public space and what they deserve in terms of the equipment, in terms of the ideas that they want to see there. And I think the events are really a nice place to gather different ideas, different cultures, celebrate them, and give them space to talk. And I think these two platforms are really important when it comes to hospitality, I would say.
Amazing, thank you.
That Actually, that sparked one thing I heard in Japan on the disability front. There's this one restaurant. It's called the Restaurant of Misplaced Orders, and the wait staff all have dementia. So, like, I talk about inclusivity for disability, but making that a feature, not a bug. Like, what a beautiful invitation. You never know what you're going to get, exactly.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
No,
No, no.
after these two talking, it's difficult. But first, I'm going to talk very fast about food. Talking about this event, we all need good food because food, not saying that the rest is not so important, but food is what you get in your mind, in your memory after 10 years or 15 years. So let's get together, make good food. I'm learning a lot just listening, and I think listening is one of the most powerful tools that you get nowadays. If you talk to somebody, for example, I don't understand nothing about what she does. I only can see the results. So if you listen to people with passion, for sure you're gonna get inspired. And now I'm here trying to get a speech, but all I'm thinking about is libraries in the middle of the forest. And I'm thinking about why this place you can only get coffee in the. I don't like Starbucks, sorry, but why only you can get coffee in a coffee shop? Uh, I want to curse, but I'm not gonna curse. But beep, beep all this political correct and already idea. Let's change that. Why? Let's make it more fun because even in the hospitality area, you get a group from other country, they will know specific what they're gonna get. Why don't surprise them? And my job in food wise is that try to make another way to eat broccoli. After today, it's gonna be broccoli and animal sounds, but sorry. And of course, libraries in the middle of the forest because I'm still thinking about it. But why this already strong and conservative ideas? Why don't we try to do? We are a new generation, different ideas. Let's try to make an effort and all the time with food because food it's everything.
Absolutely, I love the idea of the misplaced orders, and
Yes.
you know how do you come up with that idea and across the whole hospitality landscape. Anyway, just trying to. You got one more thing?
There was just I don't know why this is very different, but our relationship with the moon is going to change in the next couple of decades. And at the moment, the two leading contenders are we go to the moon to mine it, or we go to the moon to set up a military base. But like, what if we reimagined what our first settlement on the moon would be, and what if it was a university, or what if it was something to our higher selves as humanity? Like that, I think, kind of signals what's possible with what we can do as an entire industry across spaces in cities, across hospitality and the small interactions. But something about that story with the moon or just kind of inspires me. Like it opens up to like what's actually possible. Sorry.
There's a movie about that moon where there's a big geostructure or something like that inside it, and the moon isn't actually the moon. I don't know what the name of the movie is, and I'm taking off on a big tangent. Anyway, we've only got a couple more minutes, so has anybody in the audience have a question for any of these three guys? Don't be scared. Or maybe I can ask a question to the audience. Yeah? Go for it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's not really a question, but maybe kind of a suggestion according to the situations and that you are brought in here. So maybe, according to Morelia, I used to live there many years ago, and what I really noticed that even the places where people live in Morelia, it's quite amazing when you because it's so high, and you even can find gardens. I have an own garden, but since it was a rented place, I didn't invest that much. Maybe that could be a program or something to develop to help people to develop their own gardens in their own homes because there's it's crazy how much land you can find in those places, in high places. That's a suggestion that I have. And bringing up the hospitality thing, I don't know. I believe it's around the world. We all have a big heritage in our culture. It's calling about the. I don't know how to say it really in English. In Portuguese, we have contadores de histórias. Even storytellings, yeah. Even when I was in my graduation, I used to belong to a group of storytelling tellers. So maybe it's a suggestion in the hotels or something like that. Because when I travel, I'm looking a lot for the culture and to learn a bit of the culture. Maybe a suggestion is to invite someone from the place to tell really traditional stories about it. Maybe. Thank you.
No, thank you. And again, just from our side with Extreme, we're working across the world, and it's really important for us to bring that authenticity through the local community. And actually, storytelling is one of the key things. And you've got these most amazing poets in some of the places we're in currently. You've got these poets who are telling these amazing stories and myths about how two mountains became lovers and they connected closer together. And it may not be obviously correct or true, but it brings a bit of spice and interest and a little bit of magic on the occasion. So it's storytelling. We all love a good story, and whether it's reading stories to our kids at night or listening to stories around fires, on the beach. That's what it's all about.
Even in the food, in the Portuguese, well, we love to cook, and we are very honored about our gastronomy.
It's the
And
best in the world. So
yeah, yes. Sorry, guys, it is. But even I remember a story about a typical Portuguese from Alentejo region, Açor da Alentejana, how it, well, the storytelling, everything. So maybe you could relate in your
for sure.
about that as well. That's my suggestion. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. I think we're any more questions for anybody? Probably time for one more question. Over in the back by the tree.
Only time for one more. Yeah, because it got late.
Hello, good morning. Sorry to be wasting your time, but I'll try to be brief. I work in international relations, so a little bit different from the topic here at hand. I enjoyed listening to the stories of the three of you and your ideas, but in my field of study, we have three scales, so micro, meso, and macro. And I really enjoyed your ideas and your perspectives for the future, but my question is, you're all talking on the micro level, so you, me, her. I would like to hear about other levels, macro levels, meso levels, so countrywide, continent-wide. What do you think is the future? How should people act? And what way should the people cooperate? Who should we push to have further cooperation? Who are the agents for this change at a higher level? Because at a lower level, it's quite clear, it's us. But at a higher level, how can we do this? Also, since we're all doing animal noises, I would like to request a very special animal. Can we do human noises? It's my favorite animal.
What is that? What is that noise?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's thank you.
Anybody
This is
want
a lot
to
of thank
take on
yous.
that answer?
I'm just gonna. Really enjoyed the question, and I'm answering my own way. I don't care about the higher level because I care in the. I want to control my small cycle because this is what I believe that I can change, and 10 small cycles can get, of course, respecting your area and your research. And but it's a very nice question, but I don't know how to answer because I don't care about this bigger picture. Not care. I go like small steps. This is what I believe I can change, and of course, utopia for me is good, but I don't like to follow utopia.
Just maybe to add to that, and I'm a big believer of baby steps. And my favorite quote is, "A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single footstep." So,
Yeah.
I would say from the sustainable perspective, I think you should start by doing it locally, and then if it can uh, happen well in the local level, you can then try to scale it. But it's like Ben and Nun said, you should try, and your first steps should always stay at the local, and then you can try to replicate it and then pass through all those levels. But in order for you to attain that, you have to understand that the changes that are needed are systemic and are not really easy to establish right away. So that's why we need to take small steps first, then to achieve these higher levels. So.
Great question, young man. You're also not wasting anyone's time, so don't say that again. On the large scale, there's a few really beautiful frameworks. One that I really enjoy is by a geologist, and it's called One Planet. And his whole thinking is, what if we divided the world up into its bioregions? It's 844 bioregions, and we started making decisions not based on politics and nations and blah 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 blah, but the decisions that actually impact the bioregion that we're living in. Because every bioregion we have has a very different set of challenges, a very different set of decisions that we need to make, and a very different set of inputs. And if we can get more intelligent about how we make those decisions, a lot of breakthroughs can happen. Buckminster Fuller, back 60s, 70s, really good guy to dive into. I'd also encourage you, if you haven't already, read a book called Novacine, which is by he was the guy that developed some of the initial technology that we sent up in satellites to analyze the planet. His name is eluding me right now, but come find me after. I'll share a few more details. But yeah, I think if we just reframe our broader relationship with how we think of land, then yeah, a lot of things will shift from there.
Cool, thanks. I think we've got one more question in the crowd.
Hi, my name is Nicolas. I am an architect and urbanist. I work with Mariana. I enjoyed listening to all of you. I would like for you to think while I'm asking this question. Think again on the answer that you gave, the first answer. What do you see in 2050? We got not long until then. We got a couple of years. It goes by very, very fast. And the last topic you were on, it's all about the politics of belonging, and belonging to an earth, belonging to a society, belonging to a community. And it makes me think a lot about spaces and communities and how can we make this better? Like, aren't we fully percent committed to this belonging? And like, if we have a chef here, so the word recipe came into my head. Like, what is the recipe for 2050? What is the recipe after this beautiful conversation, after this beautiful gathering with beautiful people? What's her plan? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can jump on that. Yeah. So I would like to see more bottom-up initiatives deserve more or having more relevance in the world we have, in the society that we will have. Because I think that they are vital, starting from the people and going up, not the other way around. So putting everyone horizontally, I think it's the best way for us to go forward. Because if we are stuck on who represents who, I think in the end, what matters is things need to be changed. So if we want to make a change, I think we should all gather together, forget about those silly things, and respect each other's work and work together. Because I think that's the most important thing. Respect every area. Every area is important when it comes to climate action, when it comes to socioeconomic challenges that we have to face now, not in 50 years. We have to start it now. And I think that if we all start working right away and joining everyone's expertise, knowledge, I think we will have a better future, or possibly a future where we can aspire to live in and not surviving in, you know, because living is different than surviving. And I don't want to live in a world where I have to fight for my life. I want to live in a world where I can see trees, yeah, enjoy myself, yeah.
Amazing. I think we got to be ushered off stage. We're hogging the stage.
We're getting the flaps, are we?
Absolutely. So I think just a very quick one.
I just want to share something really quickly. You brought up relations. It's all my relations. That's the insight, right? And I just recently finished a book called Island. It's Aldous Huxley's last book. It's actually a utopic vision. And he talks about this idea of mutual adoption clubs, where you have your family that you're born into, but you make some agreements. You go, all right, I would like some more parents. I'd like some more grandparents. I'd like some more brothers and sisters. And I'd like some more children. And you actively cultivate more of these relations. And I'm just imagining, what if we actually lived in a world where everyone had an extended family that they chose? Like those relations would change a whole bunch of things. That deeper kinship model that is embedded in so many indigenous and old traditions and cultures. But yeah, I don't know, that just I needed to share that one.
Anyway, I'd just like everybody to make a broccoli noise, and thanks for Nuno, Mariana, and River.
Broccoli noise.
And thank you.
So good.